Captain Daniel Reeves never expected his quiet shift in deep space to change his life forever. Humanity's place in the galaxy had always been complicated. They were the newcomers to the great stage of the stars, yet already they had made a reputation for being clever, stubborn, and strangely brave. Other species thought humans were reckless, but Daniel knew the truth. Sometimes, a little risk was the only path to survival. He had proved this truth during the last coalition battle. The enemy, a group of merciless raiders who had threatened not just one world, but an entire sector, outnumbered the coalition fleet 3-1. While most commanders argued about retreat, Daniel offered a wild plan and ambush using nothing but the asteroid field nearby, gravity tricks, and human timing. Against all odds, it worked. The raiders were crushed, and the coalition was saved. Daniel thought that would be the end of it. He would get a handshake, maybe a medal, and then life would return to normal. But the Coalition Council had other ideas. The ceremony, the grand chamber on the station, was filled with voices and lights. Species of every shape and color filled the circular seats, speaking in many tongues. Holographic banners of victory swayed in the air. Daniel stood on the platform, wearing his black human fleet uniform, feeling awkward under so many alien eyes. One of the council members, a tall, feather-crested alien called Sarge, raised his voice. Human Captain Daniel Reeves, for bravery, for strategy, and for saving lives of countless coalition citizens, you are to be honored. A gift will be given, one rare and priceless. Daniel smiled politely, expecting maybe a ceremonial sword or an alien piece of art. But then, two attendants walked forward, holding a small silver cage. Inside the cage was not what he expected. It was a tiny creature, no taller than Daniel's waist. She looked like a small humanoid child at first glance. But her furred ears twitched, and a fluffy tail curled nervously behind her. Her large golden eyes stared at him with a mix of fear and curiosity. Her fur was white with hints of orange at the tips, and she clutched the bars with tiny clawed hands. A child? Daniel whispered, shocked. Sarge shook his head. Not a child. A survivor. This one is of the Volpani, a rare species almost lost to raiders. To offer her is to show you the highest trust. She will be your companion, loyal and bonded. The cage opened, and the little alien girl stepped out on shaky legs. She wore a simple robe, nothing fancy, and her tail swished nervously. She looked up at Daniel, her ears twitching, then suddenly ran forward. Before Daniel could react, she wrapped her arms tightly around his leg and buried her face against him. The chamber erupted in alien murmurs. Daniel muttered, frozen. She's hugging my leg. The little fox girl refused to let go. A gift Daniel didn't want later. When the ceremony ended, Daniel tried to reason with the council. With respect, he said. Standing in a quiet hall with Sarge and a few other officials, I don't think this is right. She's a person, not a prize. I can't just she has chosen, Sarge interrupted calmly. It is their way. The Volpani bond quickly to those they trust. If she has clung to you, then she has made her decision. To separate her now would bring great distress.
Oh.
Daniel looked down. The fox girl was still hugging his leg, tail wrapped around his calf like a rope. She peeked up at him with those wide golden eyes, and for the first time, he saw no fear in Lee determination. What's your name? Daniel asked softly. The girl tilted her head, her ears twitching. Her voice was small, broken, but clear enough. Lyra, Daniel sighed. Lyra, huh? She nodded once and tightened her hold on his leg. It was obvious she wasn't letting go. Life. Aboard the ship when Daniel returned to his ship, the Odyssey, the crew didn't know what to say. Lieutenant Harper raised an eyebrow. Captain, why is there a fox child glued to your leg? She's not glued, Daniel muttered. She's just very attached. Lyra peeked out at Harper, then immediately hid again against Daniel's side. Clutching tighter, the crew found it hilarious. Everywhere Daniel walked, Lyra followed, hugging his leg like a shadow. During meals, she sat beside him, nibbling at food, while never straying far. During meetings, She curled up at his feet, tail swishing softly. Daniel tried gently to explain. You don't have to stick so close, Lyra. You can walk on your own. Explore the ship. But Lyra shook her head. No, stay with you. It became clear Lyra felt safe only with him. A bond begins over the next days, Daniel learned more. Lyra was not a child, even though she looked young. The Volpani matured differently, small in size but sharp in mind. She could speak broken Galactic Common, and her memory was incredible. She copied words, Daniel said, imitating his tone until she could use them herself. She was curious about everything buttons on consoles. The stars outside the viewport, even the way humans laughed. Sometimes she tilted her head, listening carefully, then tried to laugh too. A soft hee-hee sound that made the crew melt. Daniel didn't want to admit it. But she was growing on him. Trouble in the stars one evening. Harper entered the captain's quarters with grim news. Sir, we've intercepted a transmission, Raiders. They're asking about her. Daniel frowned. Lyra Harper nodded. Apparently, her species was targeted for extinction. Survivors like her are rare. Some pirates sell them as trophies, others for darker reasons. If they know she's with us, they'll come, Daniel finished. Lyra, sitting curled by his chair, perked her ears at their voices. She tilted her head. Bad people? Daniel softened his tone. Yes, Lyra, bad people. But don't worry, you're safe here. Lyra's ears lowered. She hugged his leg again, whispering, Stay with you. Always. Daniel placed a hand on her head. I promise. The ambush days later, as the Odyssey made its way through quiet space, alarms blared. Ships appeared on the radar. Pirates. Multiple contacts. Harper shouted. They're hailing us. Screen lit up, showing a scarred raider captain. His grin was full of sharp teeth. Human vessel. We know you carry the Foxling. Hand her over, and we'll let you live. Daniel stood tall. Not a chance. Pirate laughed. You think you can protect her? She's valuable. She belongs to us. Lyra, clinging to Daniel's leg in terror, shook her head fiercely. No, with you. Not them. Daniel glanced down at her, then back at the pirate. His voice was steady, cold. She doesn't belong to anyone, and you'll never have her. The pirate's smile vanished. Then you'll die with her. The call ended, and the pirate ships moved in. Shields up. Daniel commanded. All hands, battle stations. As the first volley of fire shook the Odyssey, Lyra clutched his leg tighter, her small body trembling. But Daniel didn't waver. I won't let them take you, he whispered. The battle had begun. The pirate ships swarmed like hungry sharks. Their engines flared red against the black void, and their weapons charged. The Odyssey trembled as the first volley slammed against her shields holding. Harper shouted, gripping the console. But they won't last long under this kind of fire. Daniel stood firm in the command chair. His eyes stayed sharp, even as the ship shook around him. Target their lead ship. Give them something to think about. The crew obeyed, firing the ship's main cannons. Blue plasma bolts streaked through space, striking one pirate vessel and sending it spinning out of formation. But 3 more filled its place. The raiders weren't here for cargo. They weren't here for glory. They wanted Lyra. The little fox girl crouched by Daniel's chair. Her small hands clutching his legs so tightly, her claws pressed through the fabric of his uniform. Her ears twitched at every explosion. Her tail fluffed in fear, but she never let go. They want me, she whispered, voice trembling. Daniel glanced down at her, his expression calm but fierce. They won't get you, Lyra, I promise. A desperate battle, the Odyssey dived and rolled between pirate ships, her crew working at their limits. Harper shouted coordinates, engineers patched systems as quickly as they burned, and the gunners fought to keep the raiders back. But for every ship destroyed, another seemed to appear. Captain, there are too many. Harper cried. We need to break through, or we'll be surrounded. Daniel thought fast. Human instinct, quick, creative, risky, kicked in Plot a course through that debris field. Use it for cover. Sir, the density's too high. Do it, Daniel ordered. The Odyssey swung toward a graveyard of broken asteroids and shattered hulls. Pirate ships followed, laughing overcomes, certain their prey was running into a trap. Inside the field, rocks drifted lazily, colliding and spinning in silence. The Odyssey weaved between them with impossible precision, guided by human hands and human nerve. Pirate ships tried to follow, but their larger hulls scraped and smashed against the rocks. Direct hit on 2 raiders. Harper shouted. They're down. Daniel smirked grimly. Let's show them humans don't run, we outthink. Lyra's gift as the battle raged. Lyra's golden eyes glowed faintly. She had been silent, gripping Daniel's leg, but now she pressed her small hand against the control panel beside his chair. Lyra, Daniel asked. Her ears twitched. I feel them. The machines, they talk. Daniel frowned. What do you mean? Can hear, she whispered. Hear the ships. Their hearts. Their wires. I can. Push them. Daniel exchanged a look with Harper, who looked stunned. Captain, if she's telling the truth, let her try, Daniel said softly. Lyra closed her eyes. Her tail flicked once, then went still. The lights on the bridge dimmed for a heartbeat. Suddenly, one of the pirate ships froze mid-flight, its engines shutting down. Another spun wildly out of control, firing its cannons into empty space before exploding. Lyra gasped, ears drooping. I did it. Daniel knelt beside her, steadying her with a hand on her shoulder. You saved us, Lyra. That was incredible. Her golden eyes brightened at his praise. She hugged his leg tighter, whispering with you. Strong. After the ambush, the Odyssey limped free of the debris field, battered but alive. Pirate ships pulled back, too damaged to continue pursuit. For now, they were safe. The crew gathered in the briefing room, exhaustion written on their faces. Lyra sat curled in Daniel's lap, tail wrapped around herself like a blanket. They won't stop, Harper said. Those raiders will call for reinforcements. They want her badly enough to throw fleets at us. Daniel nodded grimly. Which means we can't keep running. We need to find out why she's so important to them, and how to protect her. Lyra's ears drooped. They hunt us. Long-time Volpani small. Easy to take. But not useless. We can. Touch machines. Fix them. Break them. Pirates want. Control? Room fell silent. Now, it made sense. Lyra's gift, the strange ability to hear and influence machines, was rare and powerful. In the wrong hands, it could be used as a weapon. Daniel looked around the room. Then we don't give her to them. Ever. She's one of us now. Lyra buried her face in his chest, whispering with you, always. The Coalition's demands word of the ambush spread fast. Soon after, a secure message came from the Coalition Council. On the holoscreen, Sphærin, the feathered alien leader, appeared grim. Captain Reeves. The Volpani survivor must be returned to us immediately. The pirates are too dangerous. You cannot protect her. Daniel clenched his fists. With all respect, counselor, she chose me. She's not a tool. She's not property. She's a person, and she stays with us. Saren's feathers bristled. Human sentiment blinds you. This is larger than you. Daniel's voice hardened. No. What makes humanity strong is that we don't treat our allies like possessions. She stays because she wants to. That's her choice, not yours. Lyra peeked from behind his leg, ears twitching nervously. I stay with him. The alien counselors murmured in shock. Few species dared to defy them so openly. Yet here was a tiny fox girl and a human captain standing together. The final attack days later. Before the debate could settle, disaster struck. A massive pirate fleet descended on Coalition space, larger than anything seen before. Their leader had declared open war. The Coalition scrambled, unprepared. Ships scattered, defenses failed. In the chaos, the Odyssey stood at the front lines. They're going straight for the council station, Harper said. If they destroy it, the whole Coalition collapses. Daniel looked at Lyra, who clung to his leg as always. This is it. If we don't stop them, they'll take everything. Lyra's golden eyes glowed with fierce light. Then we fight. Together. Humans and Foxgirl together, the battle that followed shook the stars. Coalition ships fought desperately. But it was Daniel's Odyssey that made the difference. Lyra sat on the bridge, her small hands pressed to the controls. Her power flowed through the ship, making systems faster, sharper, stronger. Engines burned hotter, cannons hit truer, shields held longer. The crew moved with renewed strength, as if her will touched them too. Pirate ships swarmed. But Daniel's strategies cut through them like blades. He used asteroid shadows, fake retreats, sudden flanking runs, human tricks the enemy never expected. At one point, a massive dreadnought targeted the Coalition station. "Captain, it's charging a super cannon," Harper shouted. Daniel looked at Lyra. "Can you stop it?" Lyra's ears twitched. She closed her eyes, tail going still. Her voice trembled. "Big ship. Strong. But with you? Maybe." Daniel gripped her hand. "Then let's do it. Together." The bridge went silent. Lyra focused, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. The dreadnought systems flickered, weapons failing one by one. At the same time, Daniel ordered the Odyssey to fire every cannon, striking the enemy core. The massive ship exploded in a burst of fire and debris, lighting the void like a sun. The crew cheered. The pirates panicked. The battle turned victory and choice. When the dust cleared, the pirate fleet was broken. Survivors fled into the dark. The Coalition station still stood, scarred but alive. On the bridge, Lyra slumped against Daniel, exhausted. "We did it," Daniel smiled, holding her steady. "Yeah, we did." Later, the Coalition Council spoke again, this time with respect in their voices. Seren lowered his head. "Captain Reeves, you were right. The human way has merit. The Foxling is chosen, and she has proven her worth. She is yours to keep not as property, but as partner." Daniel looked down at Lyra, who clung to his leg even now, too tired to move but unwilling to let go. "She's not mine," he said softly. "She's herself. She just decided I was worth keeping." Lyra's tail flicked happily. "Always." The council could only watch in silence as the little fox girl snuggled against the human captain's leg. Content and safe. Epilogue in the quiet after the war. The Odyssey sailed once more through the stars. Daniel sat in his chair, reading reports. Beside him, as always, Lyra curled against his leg, ears twitching, tail brushing softly against him. She had become part of the crew, part of the family. And more than that, she had become proof that sometimes humanity's greatest strength wasn't weapons or technology. It was the ability to care, to protect, to love without asking for reward. Lyra yawned softly, looking up at him with sleepy golden eyes. "Stay with you. Always." Daniel smiled. "Always, Lyra." And as the stars stretched out before them, human and fox girl together, the galaxy itself seemed just a little brighter.